Hey YouTube and horror fans, this is Matt from You and Your Horror Movies. Today I'm going to do a little review for you for a new movie that just came out a couple weeks ago, and it is called All Cheerleaders Die. Now, this is actually a pretty good horror comedy. I was surprisingly impressed with it. It was a blind buy for me. I saw a trailer long ago. I'm like, this looks pretty good. It is really good. Pretty much you start a junior year in high school. Uh, Two friends one's videotaping her. She's like the cheerleader. She wants to be the head cheerleader. She wants to date the captain of the football team. You know, all the silly high school shit. Well, during one of the videotaping sessions, she ends up getting killed in a cheerleading routine. She gets tossed in the air and lands right on her neck and dies. And so we fast forward until senior year. All the girls are now she's a senior, and so she wants to try out for the cheerleaders squad. Fuck, can't talk tonight. So she wants to try out for the cheerleading squad because she wants to do like a respect for her friend, but she also has a secret agenda. She wants to get back at the captain of the football team. I won't say why because it's part of the film. They show an interesting session, and won't ruin that. So she ends up getting accepted into the cheerleading squad. So one of her plans was to have the captain and the head cheerleader break up, and she gets that accomplished, and she hooks up with the head cheerleader. They kind of like a little lesbian kissing scene going on. It was pretty interesting, pretty fun to watch. Well, she decides to go out to this party out in like the woods. Her friend stops her, which happens to be this goth chick, and she pretty much warns her that don't go out, something bad's gonna happen, blah blah blah. And she's very, very in tune with her friend. Like she really loves her. I guess they had a fling going on or something. That's my premise. Well, so the girls are at the outing, and of course the football guys show up. The captain's furious because she broke up with him, and she's now dating the girl. Well, the fight breaks up, and pretty much the girls take off because they want to warn the cops because this guy punched the cheerleader. Punched her right in the face. Gave her a nice black eye. And a nice cut on the head. So the girls are taken off. The football players decide to follow. And the captain is speeding ahead, making it very hard for her to see. And the girls end up driving off a cliff. They ended up in a ravine into like a stream. Well, the guys take off and they decide not to help, except for the quarterback. He wanted to help, but the guy said no, 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 no. Then they took off. Well, the goth chick follows and goes down and finds the girls in this stream. Pulls all four of them out, and she decides to do a incantation with these stones. And all of a sudden, magic happens where four stones enter the girl's body. Now, two of the girls are sisters, and the fifth stone, the purple stone, goes on the goth's neck, and it starts to illuminate. And then the next day, all the girls wake up, and they're figuring out what the heck's going on. The goth chick's like, oh my god, my Wiccan powers did it. I brought him back to life. She's all happy with no consequences, supposedly. Well, the head cheerleader decides to stumble across the street in her underwear into this guy's house, random guy, and starts to not really seduce him a little bit, but wants to raid the fridge too because she is hungry, and for some reason food is not cutting it. Well, she ends up biting the neighbor. Then out of the blue, all the rest of the girls just appeared, and they feasted on this dude. What I mean feast was they didn't really eat him all up, but they drained his blood and his life force. So pretty much this Wiccan spell turned these four cheerleaders into these zombie-esque vampire succubus things. But they are hot as hell. And when the girls came back, the two sisters body swapped. So there's a very interesting premise what they did with this, because there's one guy infatuated with one of the girls, and the other sister is actually fascinated with him, but he doesn't like that. There's a cool twist on that part. So pretty much the girls are trying to get back to school. And of course, the football guys were like, holy shit, you're alive. And the girls have a dark intention to get revenge on the football guys. Really cool premise. Now with the girls, if something happens to one, a feeling, all the others feel it too. So there's an interesting sex scene where all of a sudden all the girls just drop what they're doing and having an orgasm. It's funny. It's really cool. So the girls decide to get revenge on the guys. Not gonna say how, not gonna say what, but they do. It's pretty cool. The ending climax is really good, um, and it leaves it in for part two, which I hope they do, because at the credits they go, all cheerleaders die, part one. Ooh. So I'm hoping that they do a part two. Supposedly this is a remake from the original director's first movie he did in college. I don't know if it's out there, but I'm glad they did this. This was really, really good. And the got some cool special effects features. Making of the squad, behind the scenes, which I watched. The behind the scenes pretty good. Got a little bit of outtakes in it. Here's the back. If you can see, there's a couple cool uh, images, and that's what the girls look like after they come all bootified. But the front's really cool. So yeah, definitely check out All Cheerleaders Must Die. This was a very good blind buy. I was kind of shocked on this one. So yeah, if you guys want to check out the trailer. And if you're interested, check this movie out. I highly, highly recommend it. So guys, like, subscribe. Please post some comments down below. I hope this review was helpful for you. And thank you again for watching. You guys have yourself a good night, okay?